Okay, guys.
All right, we're back, and
again.
hopefully we can get some things discussed. Well, I have a question.
Yes.
And I want to throw it out there, like, and I know we're not men, but being as though that we deal with the opposite sex a lot of time, I want to know, like, do you think it's like becoming for us, being as though that we want to be like, do you want to be married eventually one day? We still like weighing it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm
Okay.
like confused. Like,
Well, even if you don't want to be married, but like to be in a relationship, do you think that like your significant other or companion, whomever it may be, do you think that they will find like insecurity, like becoming sexy,
attractive?
yeah, attractive, or will it make a person be like,
That's why I feel that I have to learn myself. You have to learn yourself. You have to learn your self-worth. You have to learn to love yourself. All of you, your flaws and all. Just like Beyonce said. You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn to love them flaws and all. Because once you learn yourself and you love yourself, you'll know what you will and won't tolerate from not just the opposite sex, but anyone. You'll learn how to set your boundaries. You'll know what you want, so you know what you won't tolerate.
So is it because like you don't know yourself or like anything, that's why you do tolerate the most?
I feel like in my experience, yeah, that's why I settled and I allowed myself to be in situations where I wasn't happy and to do things to please other people, because I felt that making others was what made me happy, because I didn't realize that I didn't love myself. I didn't realize my self-worth. I was always helping somebody else. I went from
So that's
taking
like people
care,
pleasing.
yes, people pleasing. So I went from caring for an elderly lady to working in the field to having kids to back to working in the field. Like, I've always took care of other people. I took care of my sister. That's just in my nature. I'm a caretaker. I'm nurturer. That's the type of person I am. So that's just in my opinion, in my experience, why I feel that way.
I'm learning, like I'll say, like within this past, like because we just really started this year, coming out of 2019. Basically, like I've learned not to care, and I've learned this through people and really accepting some things about myself, like not to care about what a person thinks, or because I can be the same way, like that people pleaser, and I find as though that me people pleasing is just really leaving me open for your mess. And then your mess is like, it's like, I get to the point where, am I really worth it? Or am I worth it? Do they want me? I deal with a lot of that. So like really, like in front of a lot of people, I can dress it up and be and mask on and be so confident. But actually it's a song like Mariah Carey she said immediately when she said, but when the lights go off, she said I really take off my disguise. So in front of everybody, I can look like I got it together and be like, oh, it's so confident, so this, but really I'm looking for like to be accepted.
But once you realize that your self-awareness, your self-worth, and your self-love is what allows you to manifest and become the person who you need to be, and not worry about being accepted and pleasing other people. Once you've gained all of those qualities, like the love and the self-worth and all that, once you gain those qualities, you won't worry about that, because you'll know in your heart, and you'll feel it. You'll have these feelings, and that's where I'll tell you about setting boundaries, because boundaries doesn't just come with the opposite sex. Boundary comes with your kids. Boundary comes with
family,
your religion. Boundary comes with your self-care, like everything. Like if you don't love yourself, and if you don't worry about taking care of yourself, because self-care is a number one thing with a lot of, especially like Black females, African Americans, we allow our circumstances, we allow being busy and X, Y, and Z overwhelm us so much that we neglect ourselves. And in order for you to manifest and have this self-worth and love and all of those things, a big portion of that is self-care. And self-care is not just your physical, is your mental, and it's spiritual. So like I said, everything connects. If you aren't balanced, if you don't have the spiritual connection, whatever you do to have your spiritual connection with the higher power, the divine, God, whatever, however you choose to create that, whether it's through meditation, prayer, going to church, reading your Quran, your Bible, X, Y, and Z, whatever things you do is what you do to have that peace, that portion of you satisfied, that portion of you complete. And then once you, and then everything goes together, ties in together. When you have spiritual, when you have spiritual connection, then you have mental clarity. So that helps you with your diet. That helps you with wanting to exercise and wanting to do this, because when you have mental clarity, it allows you to see what things you can tweak about yourself that'll help help you get to where you need to be, because everything is a big circle, like everything connects. And me and my best friend, we have these talks all the time. Like we sit down, we just have like these real lavish, in-depth talks, and she's more spiritual and I'm a little bit more religious. Nonetheless, we're best friends. We still see eye to eye. We just have different views, but it still connects. It's still the same thing in a nutshell.
Would you say because I'm gonna stay right here, because me myself, excuse me for talking with my mouth full, sometimes I can
that's
be,
what they like. They like when your mouth full.
Sometimes I can be like all over the place. But right now, like I said, like within, like coming out of the summer, coming into the fall, into the winter, I really have been doing like a lot of self-talk, self-awareness, self-evaluation. And I come to the end of my night sometimes, and I always have to constantly take personal inventory of myself.
Accountability.
Yeah, so I have to take personal inventory of myself, because like sometimes, because I'm connected to the God of my understanding, he don't allow me to be like, he'll give me like as if it is a movie of my day, and then it'd be like, hey, look, what could you have done better? Or what could you have done to be, or did I talk to a person in any type of way? Because I know sometimes, like real quick, if I don't stay connected, I get off course. And a lot of times when Sierra was just saying about how being spiritual, like some people would see some things and see you acting out a certain type of way, and they'll automatically be like, oh, she ain't got God, or she not spiritual, and it's not, and they forget that I'm also human.
We're all flesh. We're all human. If we weren't, we all would be gods. God didn't make us perfect. He made us perfectly imperfect. You'll never be perfect. No one. No one will ever be perfect. No matter how much you work towards perfection, you'll never be perfect.
Right. It's always,
you just have to manifest into your best self.
You still won't mess up.
Yes, you have to manifest into your best self. You have to create goals, and once you reach those goals, create more goals and reach for higher goals.
And keep going.
Just keep going. It's not about
getting a goal, stay and stop. No, I think a lot of times, like sometimes, like what I'm dealing with right now is complacency. And being comfortable. And then it was like kind of funny because like it's like certain situations has happened in my life, and I'm just like, Lord, there you go, telling me don't get comfortable, don't get complacent, because this is not where I'm keeping you at. I have so much more for you than what you think, because our mind to God,
flexible.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to be flexible, and you have to learn how to embrace change.
Ooh. Okay, so it is. Because you know how to embrace the change, is it because that's what you want to do? Because everybody don't want to change.
No. Things change all the time.
Yeah, and it is.
The world is changing. Excuse me. The world is changing. We go through winters. Look at this winter. We haven't seen really any snow. Like the biggest snow we've seen.
What, like 2 weeks ago, maybe?
No, like I'm talking about like big snow, like how when it used to snow and you couldn't.
Like blizzard.
Yes, like that's been almost 15 years ago when we really seen some big snow. Unless you live like in a real, like Massachusetts or Chicago or something like that, you know, they get big snow or whatever. But global warming is here. Like the world is changing. Like it's just,
so is it like, do you change while the world is changing? Because if you don't change while the world is changing, I believe you stay stuck and stagnated, and then you get to that point in your life.
I feel like you can change without changing
your beliefs,
your beliefs, and changing like your value, like you said, your beliefs, your values, your morals, or bettering them. It's not even like, even though you're changing, sometimes people change for the worse. Like I'm talking about positive change that's going to create new experiences, change that's going to create positive experiences, changes that create and open doors and opportunity for others, as well as yourself, your kids, your generation after you. Just positive things.
It's like for me, like I've learned, and I'm learning, and because I'm still gonna always constantly learn. I'm learning that like the more I subtract negativity from my life, the more I'm starting to push myself towards the positive. And it's like I was just like how I was just saying to you earlier, it's like I'm now starting to surround myself with people that I want to look like. If I want the good marriage, then I need to be around folks that's married. If I want the business, then I need to be around people that's business minded. If I want to lose weight, then I need to be around people that's hitting that gym. I can't be sitting up there saying like, oh, I want to be a millionaire, but don't put no work into it. I want to lose weight, but I'm sitting up here eating till the cows come home and don't never put no work into it.
You ever hear the saying? It's something about, don't quote me because this may not be right, but it says if you're around 4 broke people you'll be the fifth broke person.
Yeah, you won't
If
be
you're
the
around
fifth broke person.
If you're around 4 rich people, wealthy people, you'll be the 5th rich person. Like-mindedness and being around like people that are like you, that have the same aspirations and goals and morals and values and things of that nature. That's always a positive thing.
So is it like be the remote for your life, be the change you want to see? That's good.
I mean, that's a positive way of thinking of it, but change doesn't always happen when you want it to happen.
Yeah. Oh,
Change comes in weird ways.
Yeah.
So you have to,
and just because a person's changing, like you said, don't mean they changing for the better.
Yeah, you gotta be prepared for all different kind of avenues. You can start changing and get somewhere and think that you've reached your destiny, and then 2 weeks later something pop up and you doing something completely different, and you on a whole new avenue with a whole new agenda and working on another portion of your life. I mean, that's just the way it is. I've learned to just embrace things and make it customized to my life. Like, even though it's a change, I still try to tweak it. I try to make it like fit me, sort of, or I'll try to
make it become you,
to get into a mind state that even though I'm going through this portion of it, I see the bigger picture. I know where in the end I want to be. I know what I have to do to get there. So you kind of like coast and ride out the wave until you get to the point that you can see over the mountain, and you're like, oh, I see what it is. I can see.
So when you get there, when you get to this, I'm trying to say it like it's like you see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Kind of.
Okay, so by you seeing that light at the end of the tunnel as you going through it, and all right, now let's say hypothetically speaking, you reach this place. Do you stay there or do you keep going?
I guess it's to each his own.
Yeah, because some people may get through and be okay, right?
For me,
go ahead.
God is who I consult with.
That's right.
If he feel that I'm not in the place where he has me to be, then I want him to guide me to that place.
That's good.
Where he wants me to be. He may have wanted me to be here today, but if I make this plan, I have this big grand routine, and I'm like, this is what I want, X, Y, and Z. If later on tonight when I go lay down and I consult with God and we have our talk and our prayer, our meditate, however, whatever you want to call it, when I'm taking my shower and I'm singing my songs or doing dishes or whatever, that's how I meditate, that's how I connect with God. When I'm having these thoughts and these talks with him, if I feel any heaviness in my heart about what I'm doing, or if I feel bad about something that I said or whatever, that's when I figure out and make my peace. That's where I, ask him for guidance and to lead me in the path or towards the way that he wants me to go. It's not necessarily about my feelings and my belief. And I've always used to be a feeling person. I used to think
so. F&E's my feelings and my emotions. Okay.
I've gotten to the place where I'm trying to stabilize those feelings and not be a rational person. I'm trying to be more spiritual. I strive to be more like him.
Even I always say this, and y'all can hit her up later and say, oh, I ain't like what she said, but this is how I feel. and I'm always going to I'm learning to express how I feel in a loving way. My life is set up the way God has wanted it to be set up. I may plan, like she said earlier, I may plan for it to go like this, like, oh, like right now I'm sitting up here thinking like, oh, later on I'm going to do this. If it's not in God's will, then it's not going to happen. I have to constantly, now I'm telling myself about my life that, oh, well, I don't want to put it out there, but I'm a little older. So I'll say, oh, well, I should have had X, Y, Z, this, that, and the third, or I shouldn't be living here. But I know that I can get, but how about that is God's plan for me to be here for this amount of time, go through this, because I believe like all our experience and whatever it is that we go through, it helps build our character. It helps build us, because sometimes like I believe if I go off my own thinking and on my own rocker, I believe that I just did that and he don't get the glory. I didn't mean to make this just about God, but that's just how my spirit is riding right now. So it's like it's like right now in my life, I want him to get the glory, because I have to constantly ask myself, fishies, I have to vegan friendly.
Yes, they are.
So I constantly gotta ask myself, am I in his will? So I had put something on my page the other day, like, yeah, my life may not be going according as I planned it, but it sure as heck going according to God's plan.
And we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, how, because I was talking about like how I shouldn't have had kids, and how, you know, I was always brought up in the church how you should have kids, you shouldn't have kids out of wedlock, and you should follow this plan, you should do this and do this and do this, you know, the structure of things, how things should go. I guess in life or whatever, everything has like a time limit, how you're supposed to have
time,
this
place,
done before you do this, or certain order or whatever. And we were talking, and he was like saying that, you know, if I wouldn't have encountered these things, if I wouldn't have had these experiences, like she said, I wouldn't be the person who I am today. We would not be sitting here right now making this channel. Our paths may not have even crossed. I would maybe be somewhere dead, because I could have gotten mixed in the wrong stuff, being as though my mind, when I was younger, when I had my first kid, my mind was in the point where, because I was on the go. I used to like to travel and do whatever. I just did whatever, and I was very gullible and naive, and I would probably have allowed, you know, things to derail me, and I would have been probably in a world of trouble. I'm just assuming. I'm not saying that that's the way it would have been. I'm just thinking about it from the perspective, just saying like, oh, well, I had these kids and it made me who I am, or I've had these different encounters and experiences that created the person that I am today. So you should never discourage yourself and say, oh, well, I can't get to this point because I screwed up my life and I did this and that and the third. Everyone has the opportunity to be grand, be great, and do good things, and be happy and healthy and well on. So just because you made mistakes or you're stuck in a situation, you'll overcome that situation. That situation isn't that situation doesn't define you. Me having kids doesn't define me. That's not who I am. Just because I go to church that's not who I am. Just because I cut my hair, that's not who I am. Those are things that accentuate. Those are accessories. Those are things that coat who you are. That isn't who you are. The things
That helps
that you
build me to who I am.
Your character is who you are.
Yes, like
when you are
that's good, C-Say.
when you are alone and you are doing things when no one's looking. Those
that's
are the
another
things
topic.
That those are the
what
things
do you
that
do
make
behind
you
closed doors when don't no one see you? That's who you really are. It's like when we cut off this camera, not saying that we're being fake, because I really believe like we're both being transparent and very, very honest. However, because we're on social media and it will be on social media, we're going to be picked apart. We already know that. But I come to believe in my life that everything in my life begins and ends with me. Begins and ends with me. So now that I have adopted that, I get to say, hey, look, I literally play the tape all the way through because I know the hot-headed person that I used to be. I know about my past, so I know the things that I have gotten into that have gotten me in trouble. And I can say now, the woman today, that's not some of the things that I want to do. So if I see those things arising or coming up, I'll be like, oh, you know what? I know how to deal with this. I know how to deal with that. But because of those experiences help build character in my life to make me the better woman. Now that I'm gearing my life towards the woman of excellence that God has want me to be, it's like, okay, I love the self-awareness piece in me, because I gotta have peace off of that. They'll be like, you know what? I'm aware of that now. So now I can do this. I can do that. Because it was beforehand I wasn't aware. Or I probably was aware and I didn't care. And I just did. Because I liked the reaction that I got it. Because how they say, what's that saying? Attention seeker. Whether it be good or bad. You like attention. You was going to give it to me? Okay. Wow, this is good.
So, guys, I always have to have a delicious sweet treat, either before or after my meal. I love snacks. Just because you're vegan or partially vegan or eating healthy doesn't mean that you can't have things in moderation. Moderation, yes. It's the key.
It's the key.
So
that's your homework. Moderation.
We've had fun.
Yeah, we did.
I hope you guys have fun watching us have fun.
Enjoy.
I hope that someone takes something from this. Guys, feel free to leave your comments down below. Hit that subscribe button. Click the bell to be notified. Share this video with whomever you wish. The more the merrier.
Yes, hit the thumbs up, thumbs down, regardless. But we want more thumbs up.
Watch it several times if you like. But on that note, guys, we're outie.
Bye.
Love ya.